Shalom. Shalom. With the Hebrew Israelites coming week in, week out. First and foremost, we're going to give all praise to Yahweh,
Ba'asham, Yahushai,
Baharuka Kodash.
Baharuka Kodash.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace and salutation to all your Akim across the earth for doing this work in sincerity and truth. So we already been teaching for a while, but the camera was bugging, going out and off. And probably all the other things that we were teaching was already erased. So just to be sure, we're just going to start a little bit over, going over the same topics as we already did,
This is Ezekiel 3. Ik heb Isaiah because This is Isaiah 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing, week in, week out, we do on the highways and byways, telling our people, first and foremost, the children of Israel, by explaining them who they are, and tell them to come back to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, in order for them to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, because as the book of Psalms said, chapter 179, if I'm correct, it says, I show my works unto Jacob, and my words and statutes unto Israel, so...
This is the book of Psalms 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh.
Yeah, because he's only dealing with the children of Israel, There's other nations.
I just grabbed it in one hit.
Spirit. Yeah. He's only dealing with the children of Israel. The other nations, and don't forget, man, the majority of people they are walking dead already, They're going to be burnt up. So, what about those other nations? The scriptures also speak in Peter's. He's gonna judge. He's gonna begin at his own house. What is his own house? He's talking about his own people. Judgment is gonna begin at his own people first. The other nations, you already described them. They are like, if you have a bucket of water, one drop, you left one drop while you bring in a bucket of water to your house. You ain't gonna think about that one drop that fell out. That's how we see those other nations, But yeah, first and foremost, we are here to warn our people, to come back. First and foremost for the elect, and then for the rest of Israel, so that they don't have a cloak for their sins, Because by walking by this camp, and even eyeballing us and knowing that we are here, proclaiming the words of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai is already enough to put a mark on your head that you are ready for the sword if you don't repent, If you are a Jacob descendant and you don't come back to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, by marking us or whatever, you already put a mark on your own head.
Got a precept? This is Matthew 11 and 16. Let me start at 15. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear.
Yeah, if you have understanding, listen to this word.
But wherever shall I liken this generation? But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows, and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced.
Yeah, because this word is being described as a song. This is a song. This is a new song. A song that they didn't understand, that their understanding thereof was not being revealed back then, is being revealed right now. But the people don't want to listen to this song. They don't want to hear this song. They don't want to hear, they want to listen to the song of adultery and shit, All this bullshit that's going on in the world, They're watching programs like Temptation Islands and shit. Those are the things that they like, X on the beach and all that shit, All about adultery. That's what people like. They don't want to hear that they've been doing something wrong. Try to correct people. Even with your wife, try to correct her. See if she is, the majority of them, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to be corrected. People hate that. Just let them in the filthiness. That's what they want. But it's not that we are supposed to do. If you've been called to do the works of Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, you need to tell the people, show the people their transgressions, as the brother read in the book of Isaiah. If you can go to Ezekiel in a minute. You have the precept?
this wasn't finished yet. This is Matthew 11 and 17. And saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
Yeah, because people, they don't, they want to still, even with the things that are going on right now, the Mosai have taken away the mirth. So they don't have much concerning mirth. They don't have much to do. They have some illegal house parties and stuff like that. So they still be, having a little bit mirth, but like going in the club, that's out of the business right now.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if you heard that memo that I spoke about this morning about my wife having a dream.
Yeah.
Because this scripture is speaking about that when we lamented, he did not listen. Now, my wife woke up this morning and she told me in her dream we were walking somewhere, and she saw a friend from back in the day of the world, and then she spoke to that friend, and she's like, yeah, I don't know why we ever stopped talking, but me, I didn't pay any attention. I just walked on, and when she was done, then she came to me, and I was sitting at a bar crying, and what popped in my head was the scripture, man, that I was lamenting, and actually that's what we're doing, because the scripture just said, cry aloud and spare not. It means to cry is to cry out loudly, but it also means to to cry. You're lamenting unto your people, and my wife, she's joined onto me, Yara Tazar, that stays like that, and she takes heed to my words. When I tell her not to eat pork, this is not good, that is not good. But when we talk to these people, these Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, they are not lamenting. So that's a point I wanted to make, man, because we are lamenting right now. This is a time of not of mirth, as the brother said.
It's a time of mourning.
God, we're not in the house of feasting, because the house of feasting is for the people of the world. But spiritually, I was crying because we're crying out to the Israelites, and we are sober-minded, meaning that we are not swept away in these philosophies and these things of the world. As the brother said, the Temptation Island and adulterous things that they're showing on TV. That's not what we're focused on. We're focused on that this kingdom has to be broken down, by Yahushai. Yahweh sending his son, Yahushai.
Yeah, and the fun part is because if you are in this truth, you already start living a certain way, So if you were a person that used to go to the club, you stop with that, So that already, and that's funny because when they stop all the things there, a lot of people, they already started to bugging out, while we for years already weren't doing all those things, So that already, and that's the beauty thereof, because the spirit, the guidance of Yahweh Basham Yahushua already, I said, it built you up and prepare you for things that are about to come. Like for example, like fasting, we fast, and when we fast at least 24 hours, not like this Pislam guys do, from sundown, from when the sun comes up, then they stop eating till the sun goes down, We do at least 24 hours, so when there's going to be a famine, we already being used like, okay, I can, maybe for a couple of days I cannot eat or drink, Then for us it's not going to be a big deal. But the majority of people, they are not used to do certain things. So when they wake up one day and they find the supermarkets are empty, there's no bread, there's no water, there's nothing, they're going to buck the fuck out on that same day. Maybe after a couple of hours they already gone,
But we, if I can say something, if we see that there's a famine coming up, we can eat one day and don't eat the next day. Eat one day, don't eat the next day, and after a while you could be like, okay, fuck it, I'm just not eating 2 days, But these people aren't used to that. We are used to your body having these urges when you're hungry. But then you have to put some olive oil on your head and then go into prayer, and then after the
feeling just go.
Yeah, man.
I have many times that I wake up and I don't eat, I have no breakfast. I'm just doing a lot of stuff, and then maybe at the time like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I'm like, let me eat something, you know.
But you also hear it in the word. What does the word say? Break fast. You're
Yeah,
breaking
yeah.
your fast, because when you're sleeping, then your body is in a fasting state, you know.
God,
And then
God,
when the first time you eat, that's when you break that fast.
God.
This is Ezekiel. Was it
Chapter
Ezekiel?
3, yeah, chapter 3, full of safety today.
Oh yeah, 17. I was looking at Ezekiel 3. I'm like, Ezekiel 3 and 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
So we've been called, Yahweh Ratazah, to be watchmen unto the house of Israel. And the house of Israel is talking about the Jacob descendants, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the so-called Indians, you know.
Therefore, hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. With the scriptures, we're giving the people warning. From the warning from Yahweh Basham Yahushua, the warning that Yahweh is coming back. There's not going to be something that you have been teach in church that's going to be a lovely day, that you're going to be standing hand in hand with sodomites and stuff, you know, with other nations. No, because he's only coming for his own people, for the elect first and foremost. The majority of our people, they're going to die. And they're going to die horrible.
Got a precept. This is Luke 1 and 1 and 70, going to the point. And he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began.
Yeah, man, and that's, you know, there's also a thing like reincarnation, you know, because you're going to do the same thing that you did in your past life, you know, and Yahweh Ratasa, we are those prophets from back then, you know, since the beginning of time, warning the people, you know, and this is just like the time of Noah, you know, the scriptures, Matthew 24, it says it's spot on. It's like the time of Noah. People don't want to know it. They don't want to understand it, you know. They don't, how you say that? At least been circling around like an eagle. But
Yeah, it's like what was it, like a young lion seeking whom he can devour.
yeah, yeah.
And that, what scripture was that? Let me look up for a second. Like, I think it's this one. This is Psalm 17. This is Psalm 17 and 11. They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, bowing down to the earth. Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places.
And that's basically what they already been doing, you know, especially those elites, with all those rules that they're making, you know. They already, you know, yeah, let me just speak again about it, you know, like Trump said that he's, I said, preparing the army for the end of the year to use them in order to vaccinate the people, you know. That's martial law right there. You know, using the medical part of the army. Even here in Holland, you know, you already had commercials going on since this corona hoax been going on. That the army is helping the medical staff, you know, the doctors and whatever, you know, the people from the hospitals and all that they've been getting help from the medical part of the army. Why does a soldier need to help you? You know, that already shows you that's bullshit. Because, you know, even that shows you that how they are a bunch of liars. Because Holland always used to boast about that they have such a good system concerning healthcare, you know. Okay, and why does the army need to step in then, if your system was so good, you know? It's bullshit, man. Because they got a plan. When the army starts to interfere with its own people, that's martial law. That's martial law right there. Army ain't supposed to interfere with his own people. He's only for there to protect his country or to invade into another country or protect that country so-called, because we know that these wars are all, it's all about resources and stuff, you know. You know, lying about the government that they are there's a terrible regime or whatever's going on, you know, making some civil unrest there, you know, putting some groups there, making the people fight against each other, while they be stealing gold, oil, diamonds, silver, whatever you name it, they steal it, you know.
Opium.
Yeah, opium, yeah, protecting opium fields in Iran, you know, stuff like that, you know. Why, you know, they're full of lies, man, like the war on drugs, you know, that they claiming they capture 10,000s of kilos of cocaine and then they claim that they be burning it all. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. You just be putting it right back in the ghetto, you know. Let the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans, you know, fuck themselves up over, you know. That's what they've been doing. They are the ones that already, since day one, they are the ones that brought the drugs into the communities, you know. Jake didn't invent those things.
I got that correct precept because the one I just grabbed, it was nah.
Yeah.
I was looking for this one. This is First Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour.
Yeah, and it's not talking about being sober that you ain't allowed to drink or something. You know, you can use alcohol. The Bible speaks about it because if you go to church, they want to teach you that you shouldn't drink. You know, alcohol's not good. No, man. Hey, Yahweh Shai, he was drinking wine all day long. They even talk about that he was. They were calling him a wine bibber because he was drinking all day long. Why did he drink? Because he was stressed about the stubbornness of our people, and our people are stubborn. Deal with our people and see how stubborn they are. Look for yourself. Look. Put your face in the mirror and see if you're not stubborn. I know that I'm stubborn, but at certain points you need to, you know, you need to see things. You know.
God, as the elder apostle Gabar said, when, as soon as you come in this truth, you know, you humble down. The pride is out the window. You know? Want some more? Want some more?
Yeah, that's true. Because pride comes before destruction. If you got pride, there's no room for pride in this truth. You know, there's no room for pride. What and you should look for yourself. What good can come out of pride? There's never something good went forth out of pride, man. Can you do you remember something that when you had a proud moment and something good came out of it?
Proud. That pride always comes after you're humiliated. You know, when somebody does something to you and they're like, "No, man, I'm not gonna let him talk to me like that. I'm not gonna let this happen to me." And then you go do some stupid shit. You know.
Yeah, there you be on the stupid terrain.
Good.
If you don't look out. It's gonna be a vance of stupidities.
Yeah, so the scripture says, be sober, be vigilant.
Yeah, so don't be like these people. These people are groping in darkness.
God.
They don't know what's hanging above their head. They have no clue, man. They making the people so afraid that when they're gonna, you know, here in Holland they're busy with making 1 million vaccines, you know, vaccinations, you know. So they're making the people so afraid of this disease and all that, you know, so that when they're gonna say, okay, we got the vaccines, that the majority of the people are gonna run towards the government or wherever they're gonna establish, gonna put a place for order for them to receive the vaccination. They're gonna, and people gonna fight because, you know, here you got like 70 million people in Holland, you know. So they're talking about they are about to make 1 million vaccinations. So people are gonna fight in order for them to get that stuff, you know. They're gonna get angry because there ain't enough for everybody, you know. You see how Esau's playing, man? People, hey.
Can I say something about that also? Because there's this new technology that Esau came up with. I believe it's this past week. He's explaining, you know, that this is the bullshit of this devil. He's explaining how, you know, because there are so many people, so many millions and billions of people, we have to vaccinate all these people, so we have to have all these vessels, you know, to transport all these places, but we don't have the transport, we don't have the vessels, we don't have the packages and everything, so we're going to make it more convenient for these people that we make a vaccination. Shalom. they're gonna make a vaccination that is. It doesn't have to be in vessels and in capsules and whatnot to be prepared. It's already prepared like that, you know.
Like a pill form.
No, not like a pill form. Let me just show you. I'm gonna get the precepts again. But yeah, you know that is already a brick form. But then check this. He's like, you know, we're gonna deliver this to the hospitals, and it has already a RFID chip in it, so that the people can check on their app, you know, the nurses, and see
who is vaccinated and who is not.
God.
And the people can check amongst each other. Like they already were busy with this app. Okay. Yes.
So that they don't have vessels and capsules and all kind of things. It's just one thing like that, just with a RFID chip in it. Let's see. Can you see? So that is the RFID chip at the top of this vaccination. God, this man of sin, he's not bearing that name in vain, man. That he's wiser than Daniel, because he's coming up with some things, you know, just to bring in that RFID chip also.
Yeah, because they were already busy with with the so-called app, you know, with the coronavirus app, you know, that you do that app, you can see by Bluetooth, you know. Everybody, so they are already allowed to open the Bluetooth on your telephone, you know, so that everybody can see if you got if you've been vaccinated, or that you had the disease, or that you had it, you know. Because they're also talking about if you had it one time, you can only give it to one person one time, and then you can never have it again, you know. Because that crooked eye Edomite on my job had it, you know, so-called. But he's been taking the flu shot every year, so I already knew what that is, you know. So. That's why he also had it probably, you know.
And since we're talking about this past week, all of the news is just bombarding, you know, it's just coming like a flood. Because in Israel, what did that guy say?
Yeah. He wanted to chip the children, so that they can keep the distance amongst each other.
God.
So that already shows you what, you know, and like we already knew that, you know, because if you want to come with a new rule, you gotta use it with the children, because the older people, they're going to fight against it, you know. Right. It's like with the new dressing style of clothes, you know, with the skinny jeans. They need to start with the younger generation, you know, put those so-called pop stars and in dresses and shit, and this generation that comes up, it thinks it's normal, you know. You got a commercial of Zalando, where you have a dude with a skateboard and a dress on.
Right.
He's calling himself Generation X, you know, like, why can't I wear a dress? I can wear whatever I want, you know.
Gone.
Yeah, that's the devil right there. Do as thou will, you know.
Yeah.
Do as thou will, and you will be destroyed.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is Second Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yeah, to the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he shows us the things. Whether you get the article for someone you know, like a family member who's not even in the truth, he sent you this article, and that shows you right what's going on.
Yeah.
To the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because Yahweh Bashem Yahushai put the spirit on him to send it to you. He can send it to all his friends that he has, but he sent it to you.
I'm looking for that article, so that we could show the people about the children.
Oh yeah. I believe
Israel.
it's an RT. RT was it?
RT.
Yeah. RT. I don't know if it's the normal or American. Sure.
Micah chapter 4, verse 1. In the last days, there shall come to pass the mountain of the house of the Lord.
Because the scriptures say prove all things, and when we speak about something, we just want to show the article also. This is the book of Isaiah 62, verse 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Israel, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silence, and give him no rest till he establish.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. We cannot keep silence. If we keep silence, the scripture's going to explain it in Ezekiel, you know. I say that? This one. Let's see if this article, yeah, I believe it's this one. Yeah. It's this article. Right there. Microchip kits for sale. Just to the camera. This is the article that we were talking about. See if you can see it. The sun is messed up. But it's an RT. It's an RT. Just look for yourself. On RT, you know, then you can find it. And the title of that article is Roadmap to Disaster. Israel government wants to microchip kids for safety. So that already shows you what they planned. We already knew about this plan. Elder Apostle Tahar didn't name this year the year of prophecy for nothing, you know. So all all prophecies be coming out, you know. So they making serious moves. Trump also mentioned it a couple of weeks ago about the chip, you know. So you know that we know that's the next great thing, and this coronavirus is a great tool for them to use as an excuse to chip the people, you know. And the people are gonna be so afraid. Look, man, how afraid people already are to touch cash money, you know. People are afraid of that, and it makes no sense. You see people handing over all kinds of stuff, but with money, they're afraid, you know.
It's like when you go in the grocery stores, you got all these avocados, tomatoes,
Yeah.
you're touching everything, and then what about that?
That's what I meant, you know. You see them in people taking articles, putting them back, be like, okay, I'm gonna buy this. No, I'm not gonna buy it. Put it back, touching this, touching that. Then they be at the cashier, and then they they need to deal with cash money. Then there's a certain afraid there. Look at you got the shelf fillers. You know, they be filling, they touching all the stuff and this and that.
For the people that bring you your mail, you know, you might be quarantined in the house, you know, mask everything.
Yeah, they just
here's your
the
mail.
door. Yeah, but also but you have the people, the package deliveries. You know what they do? They put the package at your door, and then they ring the door, and then they get in the car. You know, then they drive off. But that's also a lot of bullshit, because how do you get the packages in your van, in your vehicle, first and foremost, you know? How did they get there?
Yeah, people have to carry them, and
because you got
touch
people, you got in Dutch you got order pickers, you know. You got people who putting all the things already ready for them, you know. And you might do it for yourself, but there are packages that come from diverse places, you know, because people ordering things. Some things come in Holland, sometimes they even come from other countries, you know. But they come from diverse places. So, and then you have you fill your van with the stuff. It's all on route, you know. You go from this city to this city, you know. But they're already different packages. You don't know who've been touching them. So, but then you take it out of your van, then you put it for someone's door, then you ring the bell, and then you go away because you don't wanna, you know, you're afraid of this. So, you know, people are bugging out, but they are bugging out. It's stupid, man.
because these people, if I could say something,
Come.
these people they're busy with some look over here while they do some other shit, you know.
Yeah, and that's what they always been doing, you know.
But with this also, it's not the virus that's gonna kill. It's the virus, but still, we have this wave that's kind of flattening out right now. But then they're saying that there's gonna come another wave, and that's true. How? Because right now we are breaking down our immune system by not going outside, by constantly washing your hands, by constantly wearing masks and being too overprotective with these bacteria. And I got an article here from Wikipedia how your immune system works. Your immune system works with pathogens. You know, you have to be outside and doing things so that your immune system can get a boost, so that your immune system gets high. But if now you're constantly quarantining yourself, that means you're you're more susceptible to a smaller virus or smaller bacteria.
Can I say something? Because people staying inside and they're living in a so-called sterile environment. Because what do you do if you be inside in the house all day? You start cleaning up shit, you know? Start cleaning up. So there's not, you know, everything is cleaning up. You got this so-called cleaning cloths, you know, with its alcohol substantial stuff in it, you know. So all the bacteria is being wiped out. So people, you know, you got a lot of people who be ordering groceries, you know, don't even go to the supermarket, you know. So, you know, yeah, like I was in the train, I was with the other one of the Akyam, you know, we come from the same city, so we were on the way here, and I spoke with him. I had to think about the uncle of mine who's in Holland right now. He's staying at my cousin, you know, is her father, so he's from Curacao. So he's so afraid about this, you know, that shows you the stupidity of the people, and that's also what I said about, you know. The Most High is not dealing with everybody. So even in your family, you will see people who have no clue and don't understand and are so afraid of doing anything, you know. So this man, my uncle, he's so scared. He doesn't even want to go sit in the yard there because they talk about that the virus is in the air and so, you know, like. So he's really believing that shit, you know. I'm not even gonna try to explain him because, you know, if people are so deep, because already had I spoke with a cousin of mine a couple of weeks ago, you know, and he was also deep in that thing, like, yeah, my father came to visit and I told him to keep the distance and this and that, and not for me because I'm not afraid, but I don't want him to get sick. And I'm like, you know, I wanted to explain him something about it's got to do with the flu shot, and but he was already talking and rambling like I'm like, I'm not casting no pearls over there, you know.
God, exactly. That's what I see in front of me, you know, because it's the same thing. You're trying to tell him something, but he's not willing to listen. It's like when we're standing here, we're not going to people their shoulder and yanking them like, this is the truth, this is the truth. No, if they come and they're sincere, they come ask questions, you know, they're not nosy, but they're interested, then that's somebody you can work with. So if he would come to you like, yeah, what do you think about this? Then you can tell him. But if he's like, no man, just keep the distance and don't tell him anything.
Yeah, because I got another nephew who knows about the truth, you know, because he also knows, the other one also knows, but he didn't, you know, he don't want nothing to do with it. But, you know, yet he's cool with me, so I'm just cool with him. But yeah, he's burned, yeah, he's gonna be burned up anyway. But another nephew of mine, you know, who also knows about this truth, you know, he got a Bible, but he's not really making steps or something, you know, but he's aware about what's going on. He be sending me a lot of articles that they got concerning this coronavirus, and doctors that been talking about what's really going on is from him, you know. That's funny because he's not even in the truth, but you know, he's still seeing stuff, you know. That's funny, yeah.
So. This is the article on Wikipedia. This is how your immune system works. Immune system. The immune system is a host defense system comprising many biological structures and processes within an organism that protects against disease. To function properly, an immune system must detect a wide variety of agents known as pathogens, from viruses to parasitic worms, and distinguish them from the organisms who help from the organism's own healthy
that's
tissue.
dope, because I already was like thinking like, because if you don't, I said that if your immune system don't see virus and stuff, you won't recognize them, you know. So you won't fight against a virus or a disease.
Yeah, you can.
Things like, okay, this is I don't see it as a threat, you know.
God, he has to distinguish his
needs to
tissue
see
and something foreign.
Yeah, he needs to see the difference, you know. Yeah.
That's just
and that's you know, that's funny because they already be talking about the second wave is coming because they know what they're doing. Like every year they predict, but they are precise to say like, okay, we are in the flu season right now. How the fuck do you know that we are in the flu season? Because you'll be shooting the people these vaccinations and spraying this chemtrails to the air, so you know exactly like, okay, it's gonna take like 2 months in order for this to be at the highest peak. Then they talk about, okay, we are about to hit the flu season in a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks later you will see it. because they know what they're doing, you know. And people are stupid. You really think that the white man is so smart? That he's smart, that he can see? If he's so smart, then he already should know that his kingdom is falling. If you're so smart, you got this, you know, you got this fortune, this future tellers on television, you know.
Yeah.
If after 12 o'clock, you know, hey, I always need to laugh at those people, you know. I'm looking at them. I'm like, okay, so you want to tell somebody who's on the phone, you don't even see him, you know, but you're gonna tell him like, yeah, I can see. Oh, did you lost someone in your family? He's still taking care of you. This, I can see you're gonna find a good wife in your future. This, that. I'm like, okay, you can see in all those things, but you don't see in your own future that you're going into captivity, that you're gonna be after 1,000 years you're gonna be burned up. You know, we're gonna put you around you all up. You know, put you all in the middle, and we're gonna light a fire, watch y'all burning, each and all of you so-called white people. But yet you wanna proclaim that you see the future, but you don't see the downfall of your kingdom, you know. That's funny, man.
I got a precept. This Habakkuk 1:6. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadths of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs.
Yeah, and that's what they've been doing. Look at the so-called white people. They be how you say that? Everywhere they went, they stole it. They put the people in captivity, murdered them, raped them, robbed them from all the resources that they have over there. They believe it, but it goes back to the blessing that he had in Genesis 27. You know, the fatness of the earth shall be his, and he shall live by the sword. And what's the sword? It's a weapon. He lives by the weapon. Military force everywhere. Taking over countries, putting a puppet over there, you know. Someone who works there that looks like the regular people. It might be of that nation, but it's a symbol. You know, it's just one who sit there to keep the people calm. Great example, Nelson Mandela. What the fuck did he do for South Africa? What did he do for them? He did nothing. He did nothing. They put him in he was locked down because he was so-called freedom fighter. They already were groomed inside, like they tortured him, this and that. All those years they tortured him, he survived it, yeah, right. Then he came out, turns out to be president. They lift up the apartheid, so it wasn't in the law anymore, but it was still being applied. People had no rights. They were still in poverty. While they see him, they were dancing. That shows you the stupidity of people, you know. They see somebody, a so-called leader, and they think that they are doing something for them. Like in Holland with there was Elizabeth. I always messed up her name because I don't care about those demons. You know, I hate those demons. So when the World War was about to happen over here, you know, and you know the Germans were about to attack Holland, she fled with her minions to London, you know, to England, to London. She was there on the radio every day talking about, dear Dutch people, keep the courage, you know, and all that. But she was safe in England there. People were suffering here, you know. They had nothing to eat. They were eating the how you call it, the bloembollen, the things where the flowers come out from. I don't know how you call it, man. Bloembollen in English. Look it up. Look it up. No, I call, man. It's like they were eating that instead of onions and stuff, you know. They were things of leather. They were preparing that to eat that, you know. So people had nothing to eat while she was enjoying the life in London, being on the radio and all that, you know.
Flower bulbs.
Flower bulbs, you know. They were eating that here in Holland because there was a famine going. They had nothing to eat. People were suffering, you know. And the Germans were here. And she was on the radio, and after the war, she came back to Holland. People were standing on the street. They threw a parade for her, like she did something great for Holland, because she was on the radio every day. So she gave the people the courage to endure the shit that they were going through. You know, that shows you the stupidity of the people, man. And they talking about that they love their country and this and that, man. Hey, man, your so-called leaders don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about us, man. Like Michael Jackson said, they really don't care about us. You know?
Got a precept. This is Psalms 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
And that's what they did during slavery, you know. They cut us off from being a nation. People became more and more start waking up, realizing that we are the chosen people, but our people had no clue about who they were. Calling themselves African Americans, Afro Americans, calling themselves African people, you know. Talking about Ethiopia being the net, this and that, making no sense.
Thank you. Salakia. And to go back into the scripture that in Habakkuk about the Chaldeans were the Chaldeans were the soothsayers, you know, the people that would predict the future. Like the brother was saying, if you
Sorcerers.
the sorcerers, the witches, you know, and like the brother was saying, you know, they're looking into their glass ball and stuff, but they can't see that the empire is falling. You know, those are these low-level Edomites. They don't bother themselves with that. But these elites, they know.
Yeah, they know what time it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
they know. That's why they're preparing. You know, soon it's gonna be Revelations 12 and 12. You know, it's gonna be Revelation. This is nothing yet, man. You already think that this is a horrible. No, this is nothing yet, man. This is nothing yet, man. It's gonna be far worse, man. It's gonna be time like we already said. You know, first they're gonna offer the vaccine. You know, they already did it. You know, like a couple of months ago. You know, here in Holland, they were talking about the people who are 60 years and older. They were allowed at Utrecht, you know, to receive the vaccination of TBC, against tuberculosis, and they want to test if they're going to protect them against the coronavirus. So those people, they probably going to die in a couple of months, you know, for taking the vaccine, and they are willing it. They made a drive-through vaccination area, you know. There's a place at Utrecht where they used to have. Jagers, how you call it? When they had, you know, when they want to promote stuff and this and that, people can go there, you know. And it's a great space over there, you know. So they made a drive-through, so people just sitting in the car, you know. People sitting in the car with the arm out, you know, and you have a so-called doctor with a mask and a suit on and gloves on, injecting him. Next. Yeah, people are stupid, man. They're gonna be ill in a couple of months, you know. Or maybe they already died off and they just keep it out of the news. Because that's also what they like to do, you know. But it will come out. If people are dying off, you might have grandchildren who get angry and want to share it. Because also the older people, they are not allowed to have visitors, you know, like we spoke about earlier. I don't know if we spoke about it. Yeah, maybe it's already deleted on one of the other things that we already were teaching about. Like here in Holland, the RIVM is some health organization, and the government is listening to them in order to what to do concerning this coronavirus. You know, with the rules and regulations that they've been putting on this situation. You know, on this hoax. So they were talking about yesterday that they are that singles, because people weren't allowed, you know, to interfere with other people. You know, keep distance at all times. You know, only if you already had your wife, you know, then you could stay with her and your children. You know, you can touch them and stuff. But people weren't allowed, still not are allowed to visit their elderly parents who were living in this. Care places, you know, that's where they like to put the elderly people, so they can get no visitors and stuff, you know. So yesterday they decided that people were singles, you know, that they were allowed to find a new cuddle buddy or fuck buddy, you know. But they need so they were allowed to find someone to have their lust with, you know. But they need to, then they said, yeah, but they need to make rules amongst each other about how many people they are allowed to see, because it's better if they keep it to one then the virus won't spread and this and that and blah blah blah, and people, and they were talking a lot of filthy shit, man. They were talking about, yeah, but people can also make love at a distance, like telling each other erotic stories and masturbating together, you know. You know, hey, but it's funny, and he had this female who was studying sex or something, you know, sexology. She said, yeah, that's strange that they would say that, because they're saying that about singles can meet up with new people, but elderly people they still can have no visits. You know, what about them? You know, so.
It's probably that sexual look from
Yeah, I don't know her
Belgium
name.
or something. See, she has.
It says brown hair. No, it's not from Belgium. This one was from Holland. I saw it on Hart van Nederland yesterday. Today I posted the article because I saw it yesterday. I was like, that's some bullshit. But then I start thinking about this. Actually, some kind of news, because they're still making some moves, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like in the beginning when they started with these rules, you know, everything, all the horeca needed to be shut down at the Sunday, you know, at 6 o'clock. The coffee shops were needed to be closed, you know, and they saw the lines at the coffee shops and they were like, oh damn, there are many people who are relying on that stuff. If we're gonna cut it off, there's gonna be a flood of criminality coming up, because they're gonna sell it on the streets illegal, you know. Because now the government, you know, this is funny also how they do it with this weed, you know, because it's illegal. The coffee shops aren't allowed to grow it. You know, the government got certain fields. We already know that they have in their own. How say that? Yeah, it's in their own pocket. You know, they have certain places where they grow, but the coffee shops aren't allowed to buy the weed illegal, this and that. But still, if the weed is in a coffee shop, it's legal. Then they sell it and they pay taxes over it. You know, so it's also an income from the government. You know. So they playing a lot of tricks, you know, and they already saw like, okay, you know, they always like to do so-called research, you know, coming with enquêtes, you know, making people filling papers and this and that, you know, questions about this and that. So they already know how many people, you know, plus or minus are smoking. But when they saw that, like they were like, you know, they announced it like 4 o'clock or something. At 6 o'clock, everything needs to be closed down. You know, you had lines, long ass lines. Even the place where I'm from, you had long ass line, people waiting from the to go into the coffee shop. You know. So then 2 days later, they switched that rule back. You know. So that if they apply certain rules, then they were allowed to sell that weed again. So that also shows you with this fuck body thing, that they switching it up a little bit, because they see people, you know, even here in Holland, like a couple of weeks ago, you had people protesting against this lockdown thing, because people, they noticing that the unrest amongst the people, you know, so that people being more, you know, they have no rest, you know. So, you know, if you have a wife and once in a while you can bust a nut, then you're at ease, you know. If someone won't bust a nut, he will at a certain level of rage,
restless,
you know.
Yeah.
I know for myself, if you know, if I would be on semen retention, for example, hey, that's not good for me, you know. I'm not a person that gets angry quickly, but when I'm angry, I'm not calming down quickly, you know. and I'm a person, when I'm angry, I'm in destruction mode, you know.
You're just gonna look for anything just to, you know.
Yeah, to destroy, you know. To explode, basically. So yeah, they already, you know, they know how people react, so they already seen it. You know, it was like for 2 months, you know, they weren't allowed, 2 or 3 months, they weren't allowed to have contact, you know, interaction, you know. And now they, you know, now they are allowed, and they made it. It's funny how they do it, because they announce it on a Friday, so just for the weekend, you know. So people are kind of happy, you know, that they were interviewing a couple of people on the streets, you know. They had this dude, and they was talking to him. He's like, great man, then I immediately gonna celebrate that. The girl who was interviewing him said, okay, so you have someone waiting for you. He said, no, it's someone that works, you know. So he was talking about the prostitutes, you know. So he was ready to go over there, you know. And he also had a female. She was talking about, yeah, that's great news, man. That's great news. Then I can unleash the beast, you know. So.
But I'm also seeing it as a way for Esau is trying to register everything, you know. So you gotta be registered as a sex partner for
Yeah,
that person.
right now it's not yet, but it's gonna come. It's
Yeah.
gonna come because like now you're not allowed to you need to keep distances all time. As long as you are from one household, then you don't have to keep the distance,
Yeah.
or you are like a student, you're living on the same address, so then you don't have to keep the distance.
And how can you prove
So
that?
if you have a fuck body, then you need to be able to prove like
Yeah.
from this. Oh no, this is my fuck body, So the government they want to control everything. That's also why they want the chip. They want to control everything, and by doing this rules and regulations, they preparing the people to be controlled. So people are. That shows you how stupid people are. People were already listening to the government, like, okay, I'm gonna stay single and I'm gonna wait till it's allowed, to find a fuck body. They just testing the people. If the people gonna listen. So if they're gonna talk, they already be talking about the second wave. So if they're talking about the second wave, people are ready to close themselves up in the houses, Because here in Holland was not even a lockdown; it was a quarantine, So they were asking the people if it's not necessary for you to go outside, stay in your house, and the people were doing it, There were no fines. If you were on the street, the police won't be stopping you. Like, okay, what's your purpose? What you doing on the street? Where are you going? Because in the countries where there's lockdown, if you be on the streets, you need to walk with a grocery bag in order to prove that you are about to do groceries. You can't be walking like just being outside. No.
And
They will beat you down and throw throw some fines on your ass.
and you don't have a evening clock, a night clock over here.
No.
But in certain other countries, after past 8, you can't be on the street, man.
Calm.
This is Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Yeah, that's what they're doing, unrighteous, and those rules are also unclear. A lot of people don't know what's allowed and not allowed, Like one of the Akim was telling a story about students, students who were at the house, they were meeting together, and there were like already 3 inside. There came 3 more of them, and then the neighbor had snitched on them because you have the Corona snitch line going on. So a neighbor had snitched on them that there were more people in the house, and the police came at the door, and the female was like, okay, you can come in, and as you can see, we are all keeping the distance, and they gave them all fines because there were more than 3 people inside of the house, While they were keeping the distance, they were all sitting. You see how stupid, see how stupid that is, That's so stupid, man. They want to decide how you be inside in your house. So they were, that also shows you how afraid the people are of this thing that they cannot see. Yet they don't want to believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, but the government is talking about this coronavirus. You will do everything in order for you not to get it.
But they won't listen to Yahweh.
But they won't listen to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That shows you the stupidity. People are stupid, man. People are really stupid.
There's Isaiah 10 and 2. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless.
Yeah, because that's the plan. They want to do away with Israel, They want to do everything that they do is first and foremost is against Israel. They don't give a shit about their own people. Their own people be suffering of the shit also, the vaccinations and all that. But like I've spoken on before, in other teachers, like when you have a child, when you're gonna have a child with a female of another nation, actually it doesn't matter what kind of nation, because they always will ask they always ask what the nationality the father is. They always want to know what nationality. That's not because they are interesting or something, or because the people who are on top, they know who the children of Israel are. So if it's like, okay, you're from such a country, and the fun part is like you be like, no, I'm born here, so I have the Dutch nationality, so I'm a so-called Dutchman. But then they want to know, hey, where's your father from? That already shows you that they know it goes from the father on, you know. Shalom. Ja, wat zal ik maar zeggen? Waar elkaar de best praktijk. So that already shows you that they also know that it goes to the lineage of the father, you know. While they want to teach the people that you are half this, half that, you know. You're half of your father, the other half is of your mother, you know. It's bullshit. You're your father's seed, man. Seed is already alive. I've been carrying boys and girls all my life, man. Since I was about 12, 13 years old, you know. I've been carrying them. Spilled some. And planted some, you know.
She's been only carrying it for 9 months, and then
yeah, only nourish it. Yeah.
And then, you know, when your child is born, then you go to the government. Everything is she. She has to give permission for you to be able to
give the child your name, or whatever, all those things.
So that's how you see this world is upside down, man.
Yeah, the females being put on a pedestal. They're gonna, you females being put on a pedestal, but you're gonna fall hard, you know. Especially you, Jacob descendants, you know, so-called Negroes, Latinos, so-called Native American females, you know. You're gonna catch it the hardest, you know, because y'all the one who are the majority of y'all are out of order, and you're always complaining about that. You know, the so-called black man, they always dating white girls and this and that. Why are they dating white girls? Because white girls, females of other nations are more in order. They just want to listen to the husband. The only time, the majority of the time when you see a so-called black woman in order is when she's with a white man. Then she's being all humble and all submissive and listening to what he says and all that.
Not even. Because these white men,
they
adore their women. They're like, what do you want to do, baby? Okay, let's do that. And she has the pants on. She's like, yeah, no, but in my culture, you do it like this. So she probably wants to teach him certain things about her, so that you know, so that it's more comfortable for her. I got a real quick scripture. This is Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh had created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
God, how long shall you go about? How long shall you go on with that? How long shall you go on with that? Well, I know how long she going on. The women shall be going, the females shall be going on with that. You know how long? And from the moment when you're going to receive that new body, when the spiritual powers kicks in, till that moment they will continue. And then they will, want to try to repent or try to come back and, started to make apologies and act all humble. But it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. Majority of our people are going to be put to death. And the majority of our people are females. So do the math. Do the math.
This is Psalms 110, verse 3. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power.
Yeah, when we receive that power, because now we are nothing. We are shit. We have no power. We can decide shit, man. We can decide. We can decide what we're gonna wear today. That's it. That's it.
In the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth.
Yeah, man. When we're going to receive that new body, that's when you're going to witness the true power. Because then they're going to respect us, but then it's going to be too late. Like I said, like last week I was talking about, I was talking about how the women, how they are not in check and out of order. But hey, the Most High have women preserved from us. He got virgins waiting. He got virgins waiting, man, who already have the right mindset, He got, imagine yourself, you don't have to deal with a wicked woman, because she will tell you that she's, she might tell you that she adores you and respects you, but still she want to force her opinion on you. You tell her to do something, still she wants to talk back. Then you have no respect. As long as you be but yes, but what I think, then you have no respect for your husband. You got a lot of females talking about they respect Yahweh, but as long as you don't respect your husband and don't obey and do as he said, immediately without any murmuring, because you also got a lot of women who listen eventually, but still, that's not the spirit to be in. Your husband, as a man, you shouldn't have to use many words to get something done. You know, it should be easy like that. Just say like, okay, I want you to do this. Okay, that should be no. But yeah, but why should I do it right now? Maybe I can do it tomorrow, or it's better to do it or this and that way, or this is, you know. Then you have yourself in a discussion like like an hour, you know, till you really get angry, you know.
It's like when you just spoke about that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has virgins for us waiting, then what I'm seeing is, you know, a young woman, young female somewhere in a village, you know, where away from this westernized and liberated,
yeah, exactly.
liberated place, you know,
Raised up without the television, you know.
exactly that you know, they're just in a village and they see how the elderly women are.
Yeah.
You know, she knows
Like the
what she
scripture
has
said,
to do.
you know, they're being taught by their mother and by their grandmother how to treat their husband,
Yeah.
how to rule their household. Because women's, the females are supposed to be keepers of house. Shouldn't supposed to be busy with making a career. You know, you got females who are focused on their career. You know, have no husband. They got loose relationships. You know, some sex partners they have. You know, they freezing their eggs in order for when they are at a certain age that they're gonna put the eggs in, and then they find a loser. You know, a simple dude
Yeah.
to get a child with and start a family with after she been digged down and make their career. You know.
That's probably an Edomite.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what they do. You never heard of that?
No.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. That's what they do.
Freeze their
So-called
eggs.
business females, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they freeze their eggs because you never know what's coming in the future. Then they have that guaranteed, and then when they have their career at the level where they want to be, then they want to settle down with the stupid, you know, with the yay sayer, you know.
With the sip.
Yes,
with
my
the sip.
dear. Yeah, with the sip. Yes, dear. Okay, dear. All right, honey.
Or not even that, you know, because I'm hearing you speak about that she froze her eggs. She probably go to a sperm bank, get some, you know, blue-eyed,
Also.
blonde-haired sperm, and then injects it in that, and then she's gonna be a solo mom, you know. But she
Yeah.
has a child.
Yeah, and single mothers being helped by the government, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if they still do it because I remember a cousin of mine years ago. So I believe she has 3 children. I'm not sure. I have no contact with them, you know. But I believe she had 2 children from different baby fathers, you know. And she was always, as a child already saw it, always a big mouth against the mother. Then she run off. She was, I believe she was 17 years old, and she asked me if I wanted to bring her to Rotterdam. I was like, no, I ain't gonna do that because if I'm gonna bring you there, because she walked away from home, you know, then she contacted me, and she asked me if I want to bring that to. She had a boyfriend over there, you know. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do because I already know my aunt, you know, she's the husband of the cousin of my father, you know. But she's a wicked woman, female also, you know. Because she always, you know, all the things, you know, she got 7 children. And if the children do something, she always want to blame it on somebody else's children, you know, like, you know, that kind of female is that. So I already knew it back then because I have a cousin of mine, you know, he still comes by me, you know, and at some certain age he started to smoke weed, and I was always smoking weed, so she blamed me that it was my fault that I introduced him to weed. But that's bullshit because I never smoked directly in front of him, you know. He was already always outside. In the area where they were living, were a lot of Italian people living over there. So you already know what's going on. But, you know, I already knew from back then, like, okay, that's how you are. So my cousin, she asked me if I want her to bring her to Rotterdam. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. She was angry with me. I never spoke with her ever since, you know, ever since that day. So she went over there. Then she got pregnant from that dude, you know. I was like, yeah. And that's why I didn't bring you there, because if I did it, then it was my fault.
Yeah.
Then the aunt would say like, yeah, if you didn't bring her there, then she might have come back and this wouldn't have happened. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's because you don't respect your husband, because with the father of her, his health is not that good neither, you know. He has sugar and a lot of stuff, and he's always been a quiet man, you know. He always been a quiet man, and she's always, deciding everything, wearing the pants in the house,
Yeah.
like she decides what's happening and this and that, showing in front of the children that she don't respect them, so-called funny. Even the children though, they don't respect him. They don't respect the father, Yeah, and that's how you got this generation nowadays. She got one daughter who's a sodomite, Yeah. And that's they were. I remember a couple of years ago, my mother was like, "Yeah, did you know that I'm not gonna say names? Like, did you know that she like women? Yeah, like I already knew it, man. I saw her growing up, wearing baggy pants, having the cornrows backwards, she always wearing the flat caps, or the full caps, always wearing baggy clothing. I already saw that she was a sodomite, Then she came out so-called came out of the closet,
Got a
And
precept.
everybody was so-called surprised that she was a sodomite. I'm like, man, I already saw it a long time ago, man. That's stupid, man. Then, oh yeah, that's and the fun part was when she told my aunt that she only liked girls, Then she weren't allowed to live with her anymore. But now she lives back over there. So it's all fucking poppekas,
Yeah.
It's a show, puppet show.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Yeah, man, this is a great shame. This is a great shame. I remember you had the program back in the days. I don't know if you have it nowadays, or if you still have it. It was on one on the public center, I believe in Nederland 1 or something. He had this program. They were following people who were about to tell their parents that they are sodomites, So he had this sodomite from Aruba. He came from Aruba. So they went with him, with the camera crew and stuff, and the presentator, the program dude, So they went to Aruba, and then he was there, and then he sat with his parents, his father and his mother, and he was like, yeah, I got something to tell you. His mother was really happy to see him. His father was normal, cool, normal. And his mother was like, oh, my son, you came to visit us, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then so he sat down, and they have no clue about what was about to happen, Then he said, yeah, mom and dad, I got something to tell you, something that I want to say. The thing is, I didn't know how to tell you, but yeah, for years, I only like men. And I believe he also had a boyfriend. He wasn't with him right there, but I think he already had a boyfriend. I saw the program a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
So, and his mother was like, his father just stood up immediately, just walked away. He said nothing. He just walked away,
God.
And his mother was like, oh no, my son, why? Why don't you like girls? Didn't you try to be with a girl? And he's like, yeah, I tried it. And she said, okay, why do you? What are you doing? Why do you do it with this camera and this and that? Everybody's going to see this and so. They still over there. They still have the shame, about that. It's not out in the open like here. So, but that shows you that it's also not normal for our people. Because now it's being made normal for people, but it's not normal for people, I never liked sodomites, man. I never liked it. Okay.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 32, verse 32. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of Gal. Their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps.
Yeah, but there comes nothing good forth out of sodomites. It's only diseases, man. Sodomites can't bring life. They can't bring life.
Can I speak on this?
Okay.
Because this is speaking about that woman that has that cup. It goes also into Revelation 17. We're going to go into that because that's what these people are doing. They're programming our people to drink of that cup. But the elderly ones, they're like the man you said, he just straight up walked out. But the female, she's like still trying to, talk to him, be like, nah, man, this is not the way and stuff like that. Everybody can see us. It's a shame, But this is the philosophies of America, man. This is the philosophies of the So I'm gonna read it again. This is Deuteronomy 32, verse 32. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, and the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of Gal, the clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps.
Yeah, and the wine is also talking about the philosophies. You know, like the brother just said, all the examples that they give unto our people. You know, and the scripture in Jeremiah speaks about do not follow the ways of the heathens. We ain't supposed to do the things as they do. We are read about in the book of Psalms. You know, the Most High only dealt with the nation of Israel. So that means that we need to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. He doesn't give a shit about what the other nations are doing, because they, you know, they are about to go into slavery for the rest of their life. You know, they're gonna be under us for the rest of their life. When the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushua is gonna be here, the so-called Edomites the so-called white people, the Edomites, after 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, they're gonna be burnt up. The other nations, they're gonna have their country back. The original country they're going to have back, but they're still going to be under us. They're going to be submissive under us. So it means they won't be walking in chains anymore, but they have everything they need to bring to us. You know, if you got one of our people going over there to the country, they'll be throwing darters at your feet. You know, that's how it's going to be. They're going to bring their gold, their silver, all the things that they have. They're going to bring to us. They're going to rule their country according how we want them to rule their country. You know, and there's going to be no filthiness. You know, there's going to be no filthiness in the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushua.
Got a precept on that?
God.
There's Isaiah 60 and 11. Therefore thy gates shall be open
Start at verse 10.
This is Isaiah 60 and 10. And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee.
Yeah, so their king's going to minister unto us. Minister means to serve. So their so-called leaders going to serve us. The sons of strangers shall build thy walls. You really think that we're going to pick up some stones and start building the kingdom of Yahweh Basham Yahushua? No. That's why we're going to put all your nations in captivity. Y'all going to build our kingdom. Because, hey, look man, we built all your kingdoms. All your kingdoms, hey, we went in captivity, we built those kingdoms. We raised up those kingdoms. They were living off our backs. All the country, all your heathens had us in captivity. So we're going to have all of you in captivity. You know, and you're going to build up our kingdom.
For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Yeah, because in the wrath of Yahweh Basham, of Yahweh, he smote us. What happened with us? We were in captivity under all those nations. The worst captivity was under the Edomites. We're still in captivity. But they made us forget even, we were forced to forget who we were. We weren't allowed to worship Yahweh Basham Yahushua. The other nations, they led us. They still let us serve Yahweh Basham Yahushua. We were still allowed to keep our feast days, you know. We still were allowed to keep our tongue.
Precept?
God.
This Psalms 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Yeah, but that was their plan. That was their plan. Make us not remember who we are. We are not a nation. We think we are so-called Attilians, we are Surinames, you know. That's what people think that they are, you know.
Yeah.
Calling themselves Nigerians, Ghanaians, you know. After a country that you were left, you know, that you were left there. Calling yourself after a country. That got nothing to do with nationality.
Yeah. Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Yeah, because our people didn't know about that we are the people from Israel. You know, we didn't know. We didn't understand. They put those Amalekites over there, the head tribes of the Edomites. You know, they put them over there, calling them the so-called holy people. Everybody looking to them like they're something, but they're nothing, man. They're nothing, and you're going to see it soon.
Got a precept? There's Baruch 4 and 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved Yahweh to wrath.
Yeah, like the brother just read in Isaiah, was it that? Right.
Isaiah 60.
In Isaiah 60. We were put in captivity because we provoked the Most High to wrath. How did we do that? How are our people still doing it? But not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you know?
I was going to say it.
Yeah, following the heathens.
Ye were delivered unto the enemies, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to Yahweh.
Yeah, that's what our people been doing and still doing. Doing the things, the ways of the heathens. You think that the Most High is happy when you be worshipping Jeebus? That's mocking him, man. That's mocking the Most High. Especially you females, you like to say, a lot of females, majority of the time you have females talking about, yeah, but I know Jeebus. Jeebus knows me. I know Jeebus. I have Jeebus in my heart. I know him. I know what Jeebus want. Yeah. Jeebus, Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh Basham Yahushua already showed the order. You aren't even allowed to talk towards a man. We got female pastors, man. Like back in the day, man, my mother brought me to some so-called church something, you know, this female was talking about because I was smoking weed, you know, not wanting to go to school. You know, I was kind of rebel, you know, I was like brainwash education and this and that, you know, I was that type of spirit I was back in the days, you know. So my mother was with me to me, I believe it was in Utrecht or something, I don't know exactly the place, and they had that female, he was talking about, yeah, Satan is in you, and I in the name of Jesus, Satan, go out of this child, and this and that, you know, she was. And that's a female, you know, and you claiming that you know the Bible, but yet you have yourself preaching over there, where the Bible clearly speaks about it, that it's not allowed for a female, for a woman, to have any form of authority. Any form of authority. If you be standing there on the stage in so-called church or whatever, you have a form of authority over there. You ain't allowed to prophesy. If you have a dream, you can explain your dream to your man, you know. You know, so yeah, women weren't allowed to be like that. But this is something that the Most High allowed to happen, and that the Edomites they've been busy with this since slavery, because the females were getting certain rights, you know. Females were getting certain rights. They were the first ones who were allowed to enter into the houses of the slave masters, you know, because they being raped and all that, you know. And they showed them, like, you know, back then we couldn't protect our women. There was no way for us to protect our women, you know. They were buck breaking the man, you know. You know what it is? Grabbing a man, the strongest of the slaves over there, and start raping him. To make everybody see it, tie him up.
Tie him down.
Yeah, on the ground.
Ground with pen in the ground.
Yeah, with pins in the ground, you know. He's not able to move, can't do nothing, only scream. Make everybody watch him, his household, everybody watching him. That's what they used to do back there, you know, back in the days.
Hello.
Hey, you have a question?
Yeah, I have one question. What religion do you believe?
That's not a religion, we talk about the Bible, you know. It's not religion, okay? The Bible is a book of laws, statutes, and commandments, you know. And that's something that what they don't teach you in church, you know. They're talking about religion, this and that. No, we talk about the Bible, and we also talk about who are the real children of Israel, you know. Like the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos, the so-called Native Americans, you know. Those are the real children of Israel, not those people that you have in Israel right now, you know.
Because if I may add, the word religion comes from the word religios, which means to bind. And we're not bind and dumb down. You know, these people are being dumbed down. They're being fed only certain parts of the Bible. But we believe in the whole Bible, you know, the law, statutes, and commandments, the history, and the present and the future. That's what's all in the Bible.
Yes. Where are you from, if I ask? Where are you from?
Yeah, from the same place where you are.
No, I mean, where are you from? From like
At
your
the same
nationality?
place. We are
Like
from
what
the
you
same. We are all from the same place.
Pak maar,
But I know what you mean.
What's your nationality?
Dominican
What's your
Republic.
Huh?
Dominican Republic. But
So
for me, it's not important where are you from. For
Yeah,
me,
but it's going to be important, you know, because
No, no.
the one, hey, let me say, the one that you call Jesus, you know, he's going to come back, and he's going to only going to come back for the children of Israel, you know. And first and foremost, he's going to come for the elect. I don't know if you heard about the elect, you know, the 144,000 men.
sorry,
And the,
sorry that I break you, but for me, we are all the same.
it's not. It's not.
We are all the
The Bible speaks about it. We are not the
I
same.
understand you. I respect you, what you believe. But what I say to you, we are all the same.
Now, can I say something also? Because this book is a book of law, statutes, and commandments. It's like how you have the white man has his law book. You
But
know,
why you
no,
say
no,
the white man?
no, no, listen. Like the white man has his law book, and he says when you drive a car, you have to put on your seatbelt. Now you're telling us that you feel like, you know, we come from all the same place. But if you tell the white man you're not wearing your seatbelt, you're going to tell him like, yeah, I don't feel like wearing the seatbelt. You know, that's what you feel like. But his law says you need to wear it. You know, then you're going to get fined. Then he's going to bring it to the judge, and you're going to have to pay him, or you're going to be locked up. And that's how this Bible works also. You know, it's a book of the law, and it doesn't really matter how you feel, but that's how you're going to be persecuted in the end by the Most High, by the Heavenly Father. You know, it's exactly the same thing with the laws that you break here. You might feel different, like, no, I don't want to wear a seatbelt, but still that's the law. And if you break it, you're going to pay for it. And the Bible is the same thing. You know?
I understand this. But for me, we are all the same. We are all, you know,
Second essence.
we are all the same. Or if you're white, if you're black, if you're Asian, it's all the same.
Vier, zes, vier, vijf.
We're all the same.
And the Bible is going to.
If you are white
I'm gonna
or
read the scripture
black,
for you.
what make us different, you know what is it?
Yes, 6.
Can I tell you something?
Yes, I'm listening.
The end of the world? About what?
Chapter 6. Yeah, you can speak.
Yeah, but I wanted you to look at me when I say to you, you know, disrespect, you know. I also
Second
respect you.
Yeah, okay, wait a minute. Vanaf 4, 5, 6, 4. Yeah, you can say what you want to say.
Yeah, if you finish with reading.
Yeah, I got a scripture for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is 2nd Ezra 6 and 54. And after these, Adam also, thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
So everybody comes from Adam.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
So also the people that the Most High has chosen, they also come from Adam, the chosen line of people.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Yahweh, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Yeah, so the world was made for the children of Israel. That's what the Bible said.
As for the other people, which also come of Adam,
So the other people who also come from Adam.
thou hast said that they are nothing,
So the Most High said they are nothing.
but be like unto spittle.
So you know when you spit somewhere, you be walking on your way home, you spit somewhere, and then you come home. Do you be thinking like, oh shit man, I spit somewhere, I left it over there. I forgot to pick it up. I wanted to keep the spit with me. Ain't gonna happen, right?
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
Yeah, like you be walking with a bucket full of water. You know, like back in the days, you know, you go to a well, you have a bucket full of water. While you're walking with that bucket, some drops spill. You're not gonna reach your house and be crying about the drops that you spilled over there. That's how the Most High see the other nations.
Dat was it?
Je gaat verder toch?
Ja, het gaat verder.
Ja,
Verse,
tot het einde van.
okay. Verse 57. And now, O Yahweh, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
Yeah, because if you look at the so-called Negroes, the so-called Latinos, the so-called Indians, you know, we are at the bottom of every society. We are at the bottom. We're being looked down. They got all kind of names for us. Niggers, spics, wetbacks, you know, you name it, you know.
He's from Dominican Republic also, so you also are not, you know, upper class, high class in this society.
I understand this, that I understand your meaning about the, I don't want to say white people, you know, because for me, this word white or black or this is not good. Human, we are all humans, you know. And I say,
not
yeah,
everybody
we are
human,
all
but
humans.
the word you in human means color. Not everybody got color.
No, we are humans, everything.
Mankind.
If you are white, black, Asian, whatever you are, we are
Mankind,
all
we're
good.
not human.
We are all good. The difference between
No, it's
us,
not
the difference between the humans is the
Okay,
hurt.
if everybody is good, why is this world in the state that the world
No,
is
I don't.
nowadays?
My English is not so good, sorry, but what I mean is that we are all the same. We are all the same. The difference is only the hurt, you know. Some people they have good hurt, maybe 60%, maybe 70%, you know. And some people they don't have hurt, but they are also humans, you know.
I know what
Our
you mean,
work is
but
to teach them
I know
to
what
love
you
again, you know,
How
to
are
love.
you going to teach the 1%, the banking families, you know, because those are the people that are going around in Iran and they want to take over the whole world, you know. They go in all these places, they put up their banking system.
Yeah, I
You
understand.
can
This
talk
is-
to them.
I
I know what you're
I
saying, but
understand.
you can't go to them and be like, no man, your
I
heart has
understand.
to be pure.
Yeah.
But he's wicked from the inside out,
understand.
you know. So
I understand.
those people, God says He hates those people, you know. Those are the Edomites. Those are the white people, the so-called white people, because